Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg. This is
Utami Hayashishita fanboy Matt Strange, and this is
Stardom Cultist Muir.
How are you
I
both
looked up
doing?
her surname. Yeah, not bad, Morg. How are you doing?
I'm
Chat
fine.
of the day.
The first time we've done any of this conversation.
Stardom Gritio. That's what you
Stop.
need to pick up from the original.
Yeah, we'll get the basics in. We had a bit of a technical issue, obviously on my fault because I'm technologically cursed. So we're gonna have a quick speed through now, just to catch you up with what you've been through. One, Morg, Stardom Wrestling is the best women's wrestling you will watch. It is fucking phenomenal. And if you are listening to this and you like women's wrestling or just really good wrestling, you should look up Stardom matches between Tam Nanako and Giulia, Giulia, because it's just fucking great. Or if you're like me and really miss Kagetsu and are waiting for that person who could possibly ever rival her, look up Utami Hayashishita. It's hard to pronounce very long Japanese names if you're English and don't speak Japanese. You've got exciting news as well, haven't you, Morg, about our podcast?
Yes, last episode was episode 26, which means we have been going for half a year.
Woo! The Rona.
Yep.
People like us occupied.
Yeah,
Now we need t-shirts.
Yes, we need to keep this going. So this may be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as so, you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we rank our matches. Mr. Strange will explain that tier list. He normally does this in some kind of interesting way. Myself and Mr. Muir have taken bets on what we think his tier list is this week. We're pretty sure we're going to get D right. So over to you, Mr. Strange.
Who knows? Who knows? Right, tier list rankings. You may have seen them from YouTube videos. You may know them from Japanese computer games. It's a alpha-coded system for ranking things. We begin at the lowest possible rank, D. A D rank match is something you haven't enjoyed. The wrestling's not good. The gimmick's not good. You've just not enjoyed what's going on. And it's got to be, for me, the D rank heel, Rochelle Chanel. I hate her. I hate her with a passion. I hate her gimmick. I hate the look. I hate the fact she's got 8 years in the business, and I hate her matches. Especially after watching Stardom, where I can watch a 19-year-old who's been trained for 18 months doing fucking flying hurricanranas and fucking blue thunder bombs and stuff, to watch this terrible character run around and comb. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her with a passion. That's a D rank match and a D rank heel. A C rank match is a good match. It's what we come to expect from the average match. It's not going to blow your mind, but there's enough story there, and you enjoy it. And for me, I think he's the iconic one. The C rank heel is Shawn Spears. He's good in the ring. He's got a good, very classic gimmick. He's entertaining. He's got a bit of variety, but he's not really blowing any of our minds, is he? No. So that's a C rank heel, C rank match. So is this where you boys are betting on what I've got?
Yeah.
Mr. Muir won that one.
Right, okay. Who's your C rank heel, Morg? We're going to make this more exciting now. I'm bringing you guys into...
I wasn't actually sure. I didn't think you'd go for Shawn Spears because of how much you love him.
He's just... Yeah, but I love him because of that classicness, but it's very much the example heel build, basically.
Yeah. He's just your generic shitty heel, you know.
Okay, boys, ready for more gambling? A B rank match. B rank match is that match which takes things a step ahead. A B rank match is what we should expect every rank to be. Maybe the wrestling's great, maybe there's great story, but everything is at least good. You don't look away too much other than to text your mates, this is dope. You know what I mean? That's a B rank match. Normally ends up being the match of the night because, you know, C's are average. And I think the best example B rank heel I could think of, a heel I in fact hated when she first arrived, is Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose, who did you go for?
FTR.
Yeah,
now I'd mixed it up.
I was agreeing with that one. I was agreeing with FTR. We're both, when we say we bet on the C,
Yeah.
and then we pretty much agreed on everything else.
No, that's a really
All right.
good choice because I hated her at the start as well, and she's done
grown
so
in the
well.
ring.
Yeah.
Grown in the ring. She's nobody's like favorite heel, but
No.
she had a monster run. She's got better in the ring. She's got enough promo game. Bit of a reinvention with Vicky Guerrero, whose voice makes my eyes hurt. B-rank heel. She's not like my favorite. She doesn't blow my mind, but there's enough character and story work there to really keep me invested. A-rank matches. Best match of the night, typically. A-rank matches, everything is on point. You've sat quietly and watched it, and it's just been good. There's reason for them to fight. You've got a lead at the end. The wrestling is solid. Everything is great. A-rank match. It's got to be MJF, realistically. Great promo game. Great heel work. He works the marks, like when he had that photo of him taken, giving like a 12-year-old the middle finger. And the internet got really mad at him, and his only response was, "Fuck them kids, lad." He's an A-rank heel. He's just solid and good. He doesn't quite push into the S rank for me. Not yet. He's still a bit young. He's still not quite there.
We called it. Go on.
And there's only one S rank heel in
Yes,
AEW. The S rank match is the match which blows your mind away. It's the match that you're talking about for ages. The wrestling is phenomenal. It could be comedy. It's paradigm breaking. And there is one great example S rank match that comes to mind in AEW. It's the Stadium Stampede. Phenomenal. And who was basically the main driving push and the person who sort of came up with it? It's Jericho, isn't it?
Yep.
He is phenomenal. He is the best heel. He rotates through less experienced wrestlers, making them look better. He is a shit-eating wanker. He plays dirty, but he's also great in the ring. So yeah, that's our tier list, boys. Looks like you only got one wrong, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I got two. Muir wins that one.
On the betting on the here list. So D bad, C good, B great, A phenomenal, S legendary. Let's fucking go.
So now it's our time when we move into the news of the week. And we've got a couple of little bits and pieces here you guys have picked up over the week. Mr. Strange, do you want to kick off with our first one? Because I think it's very close to your heart.
I'm going to kick off with my absolute favourite one, something we'll be discussing later, but Chuck Taylor, good old boy Chucky T, Rich Mahogany, Dick Hardwood, no gimmicks needed, Steve the Pirate, Chuck Taylor now has a 5-star match before Tyler Black.
You mean Seth Rollins, right, for the non-educated?
No, because Chuck Taylor is a better wrestler and much more in shape than Tyler Black, which is the chant he tried to get going in Chikara that one time. We will discuss this later. I think it's worth it.
Yep.
I'm glad that it's not just 5-star matches going to the Bucks and Kenny and all the usual people. I am glad that a match type I love with a wrestler I love, who is essentially just a comedy wrestler, 5 stars.
Well, he deserved it.
Yeah, it's wicked. Okay, so we'll move on past that news because otherwise I'll just keep going on about it. We've got 2 bits of dodgy news. Do you want to go with one of them, Muir? Or shall I just lead through?
Lead through, mate.
Okay, so Pineapple Pete, trained by Jericho, made big by Jericho, who had a bit of a spat on Twitter a while back with some AEW people, has appeared on Raw Underground, which I suppose makes it the first time WWE has poached a rising star from AEW. Just saying, what's that AEW star doing on WWE? God damn it, WWE. After all of your stealing of Chikara wrestlers as well. And TNA.
Now they're on to such highlights as Pineapple Pete, mate. Oh, God, what a shame.
And the final piece of news is, it's only rumour. This is not confirmed, but more on it later if you watch a certain match. It looks like there could possibly be Eva Lee's drama. And we know Evie is a drama queen from her interactions in the locker room. Well, we don't know. We have heard many rumours of Evie being a problem.
Problematic in the change.
A source of intrigue.
Yeah.
And there was a moment in her match, which we will discuss later, where I was like, why is she not doing any selling with her face? And rumor lends that Evie was not quite taking the match seriously against good old Thunder Rosa. So Thunder Rosa
Just went to
worked
work,
her a bit, shall we say? Went to work.
Made her take it seriously.
which
Yeah.
I kind of understand. You want to keep your belt looking powerful, important. And if someone's not going to take it seriously,
As much as I love the old stories of like sandbagging and bullying and
Yeah.
getting some vengeance in the ring, most of the tales are old cases of bullying. But there is that situation of if you're in a wrestling match and your person isn't fucking fighting you,
Yeah.
I agree. Give them a couple of chops, spice it up a bit, let them know. But that could be the housing estate kidding
Yeah,
me.
we'll discuss that later, and it is very noticeable in the match at both sides, though, because it was a bit weird. But again, we'll come back to that later.
Yep.
So that's our news for the week. Now it's over to Mr. Strange. Who are you recommending people to check out on social media this week?
Well, we've got two. We'll discuss one of them a bit later. We're obviously going with my big boy, slab man meet the wall of muscle, Willie
Will
Hobbs. God, he's great, and he's getting a push. He's obviously on the rise. We've been babbling about him since we first saw him on Dark.
Getting a massive push. More on I know this is one of our catchphrases, but I've got a lot to say about that later.
Yeah, he's just fucking. I love him, and as I said, we spotted him on like being squashed on Dark like 3 months ago, and we were like, he looks like fucking dimes, and he's gonna be. And you can find him at True Willie Hobbs on Twitter. That's Willie with an I and an E, not the alternative word for a penis.
They're my favorite new star.
And we've got to shout out to him because he's great. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him. Megabyte Ronnie. More on him later because he may have one of the greatest moves in sports entertainment. You can find him at Megabyte Ronnie. He is a professional wrestler, a sexy beast looking at him, and the 18th ranked eater. Competition eater. More on that in a bit because I've now seen him eat a hot dog mid-match and 2 entire cakes. So yeah, those are my boys. We've got the definite rising star, Willie Hobbs, who's going to be fucking wicked. And if we can Eddie Kingston, Megabyte Ronnie, we might get to see more of him. So I'm trying that. Support Megabyte Ronnie. He looks hilarious. And he's got fantastic chops.
He's got a gimmick.
Social media. He's got a gimmick.
Like gimmicks.
So now we move on, and so all that stuff that we've been saying more on that later. I think that's all going to come out now.
Onto the more about.
Yeah, so it's on to our review of the week, starting as we do always with BTE or Being the Elite. What did you guys think of Being the Elite, and what score does Being the Elite get this week? And most importantly, our standard rule, was there anything on Being the Elite that should have been on one of the other shows?
Right, let's want to work through it first then, boys? Right.
I've been speaking a lot and definitely have loads of notes on this, and I'm completely prepared.
I'll take over
I will let Muir take the lead.
Yeah.
Thank you, friend.
Right, this starts off with Eddie Kingston doing a promo about a cookie, about how much he wants to eat the cookie, but he can't eat the cookie because then he won't be on wrestling shows because he'll be fat and won't be able to afford more cookies. This is brilliant.
Eddie Kingston cutting like A-tier promo on a fucking cookie.
It was brilliant.
I wonder if that was very specifically because they would do it. Looked like they would. I don't know if it was a slight piss take to the old WWE promo classes, or whether it's actually something they all do to stay on form. If that makes sense, I don't. That. Yeah, I don't know whether it's. I know they do it in WWE, but it might be a thing that
along with forward rolls.
Yeah, but also something that every company does. If that makes sense. You just keep on your promo game and you sit someone like Eddie down and you go cut a promo on this cookie.
Yeah, and then get everybody else to watch so they learn how to
learn.
Yeah.
It's a fucking awesome promo.
Right, then we moved on to the dance-off between THQ and Seven.
I'd forgotten this.
This was gold.
This is one of the standout moments. It was beautiful. It had callbacks to the £1 million spent on fucking tap dancing lesson. It was.
the continuity, and we have questions later where I'm going to address things
Okay,
more on it later, which tie into other ideas I've got.
Yep.
I love the fact that Wardlow sided with John Silver, who's been,
he
you know, who spent like 20 minutes complimenting him last week. Oh.
An OC went for THQ, and then Stu Grayson stabbed them in the back and voted for THQ as well,
Fucking Stu.
which leads into what happened later in the show, which I really like, that they get two segments that now lead into each other.
Continuity.
Then we get to Michael Nakazawa that killed
The run meme.
that killed fucking Sadell, apparently.
Oh, that was so good. They've done the right thing. They've rolled with the botch to tell more. What did they do? They did this with something in the past. It was Christopher Daniels' Arabian Press on Penta, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was, and it was the punching of the guy that did bad punching in the Dark
the
Order
Dark
that
Order
was then
killed him.
killed because he did bad punching because he didn't want to hurt people.
This is the correct way of dealing with a really obvious botch, if I'm honest.
Yep.
Give me some humour, turn it round. It makes me feel more like sympathetic for Matt Seidel. And
well, we know Matt Seidel's owned it, hasn't he?
Yeah,
this gives him a bit of an out now as well. You owned it. Well, here, have a comedy thing. We'll blame it on
Nakazawa oiling the ring.
Yeah.
Then we moved on to a conversation that the Dark Order are having as they enter some toilets, which is that was last week, and we already came to the conclusion that Stu is the longest, which we get from them as they're entering the toilet.
We now know Stu has got the biggest penis and is, according to Evil Uno, the best kisser in AEW. These are facts I need. I love it. I love them.
It's beautiful. And they go into the toilet where Anna J and 10 and 5 are already there. And then, what are you laughing at? Just what happened?
There's two bits in it which make me really laugh. And the fact is, Brody kicks off at them and is blaming Stu and having a go at him, but then has to check it's spelt wrong and counts the O's.
You have in your name, Stu.
And my other favourite part was just the fact that every now and then Brody would just point at 10 and be like, "Good arms, 10."
Brody's the best. I'm sorry, Brody is the best out the Dark Order now. He's gone over Silver for me. He's just so good in this segment.
My favourite one is still last week's with the why has your case got glitter on it? It's nice. This is weird. Yeah, Brody's great. It's just them getting Stu back for voting
against them in the storyline. It's just beautiful, and it's getting 5 and 10 over as well.
Just flexing in the mirror with his giant arms.
Nice, man. Nice arms, man. Just constantly.
Good arms, 10. You have to carry on without me. I'm gonna have a chuckle to myself.
That's fine. I'll carry on. Poor Colt can't find a doctor. Still,
I'm not feeling the Colt bits as much as I could, if I'm honest. It's I don't know. Maybe it's more American humor than I'm feeling.
The best thing about them is they're short.
They do keep them concise, which is helpful. Then we moved into the over 50s vodka bit.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Hangman story time. Yeah. Basically.
I really like the Hangman story. Once again, we're telling great story. He's a great actor. Blah blah blah. You know.
I don't know if this one necessarily needed to be on Dark, because what they showed on the show was actually really good.
Yeah, he didn't need more time, but a little bit extra is good for us, I feel.
Yeah, nice polishing up. Really, he's just an actor. He's great.
Yep. Then we got to Michael Sauer doing the run meme away from Sadell. Because he went to apologise for greasing up the ropes.
Having had run meme compilations playing on my video because my missus loves them, I love this moment and it properly made me laugh. And I hope we get more of it. I hope we get Nakazawa versus Seidel in an actually good match. That would be great.
That would be fantastic. I forgot to mention when Kenny just screams out the Hangman his gear and they just lob it out the fucking room.
Hangman his gear! He gets lobbed out the door.
I forgot that bit, but that was fucking brilliant. Then we go into Matt, I think it was Matt, out of the Young Bucks, with his titty shot because he's wearing the female Cracker Jack shirt still.
They stole.
which just carries on. Then it got to the best segment of the show for me with the cakes. We catch this man delivering 2 giant cakes.
Oh
for the
boy,
Young
I should
Bucks.
not have been a cake delivery boy.
I
can
love
control
eating
myself.
cakes. I hope I control myself.
'Cause
So
we saw this before the match, and instantly I loved this man. I was like, I need more of whoever this is. And we looked him up, and it turned out to be Megabyte Ronnie. Carry on, Muir. Sorry, I'm excited.
fine. And then there's Brandon trying to arrange this party for the Bucks to try and get them back on side. And he's like discussing it with Hangman on the phone. And in the background, you just see this man that we've never met before devour a cake in around 30 seconds. And then he just starts eating the other cake. And it's just the most ridiculous thing I've seen in ages. And I fucking love it. And it's a great gimmick. So I really enjoyed that.
I think it's. I have laughed all the way through this
Yes.
synopsis. I think this is an A-ranked BTE. I had a fucking great time.
it
I
was-
learned to be wrestlers.
I think there was one bad segment, and I
Which
don't
was?
think the cult one. But again, at least it was short.
It's It's forgettable. You know, it's not really an issue on it.
Yeah.
Oh god, it is super high ranking.
I think it's an A rank.
Yeah, I think it was fantastic.
Watch this BTE. It's fucking hilarious. And watch him.
Built
I
on a
should
lot
not
of
have-
stories as well.
Yeah, I should not have been a cake delivery boy with my appetite. Oh no, fucking hick eating a. God, I hope they keep him. I hope he's back to be jobbed more at least.
He needs to be jobbed more. I love him.
Mhm.
I want to see him fight the old man that's ranked lower than him in the eating contest in a steel cage.
Oh, number 19, Steve, or what is it? I looked it up and was sending Muir pictures of people he could be like beaten. And virtually all competitive eaters, like massive fucking ripped dudes. We were like, there was like 2 obese people. Nothing against obese people. Yeah, I'm trying to define body types without offending people. Great.
Exactly.
Like 3 tiny women, like tiny as well, and in
Yeah.
shape. A bunch of ripped guys. Then number 19 is like some old dude called like Steve with grey hair who was like 70. And I was like, I'm rooting for this man. I'm sorry, Ronnie. Oh, and we actually got retweeted by Megabyte Ronnie because after I saw the BTE, I put up on our Twitter account that he is now my new favourite wrestler. I mean, he's not. He could be my new favourite face, but nobody's taken Ricky Starks' place. I have known of Megabyte Ronnie for 10 minutes now, and he is already my favourite wrestler. And so we got a minor retweet, like a minor, little celebrity moment for us. Woo!
I just think it was a really good, real good BTE because it just got people over. Like everybody on it made me happier to see them, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think that's it then, Morg. Move us on.
So
Yeah,
we
take
move
control.
on now to Dark. First thing I got to say about Dark, it was back to an hour and a half.
Why are we here? Just to suffer?
It's all right. Next week we've got an extra special episode of Dynamite as well.
I know. I saw.
At least Jericho's on commentary.
Yeah.
At least Jericho's on commentary
My
next
first
week.
comment, yes, mate, is great. My first comment is I went to watch this on the night it came out, if I recall, because I stay up late. And my first comment is 1 hour 30. Oh, fuck off! And I didn't watch it till like Thursday. I was just like, no, I don't have the time for this.
Mine
It's a
was
shame because
don't
most of
care.
the matches are good.
Yeah, I just don't care anymore. I'm losing interest in what they're doing with Dark at the moment. Hopefully, when the fans are back, it'll get back to what we liked on it, but just don't care.
Most of the matches were at least solid. There was just
Yeah.
little care. We'll do a speed through, shall we?
Red Velvet
think-
versus Brandy. Poor
I
Red
don't-
Velvet.
I hate the Nightmare people.
I hate them.
Brandy has got better in the ring, to be fair. I
She
used to
has.
loathe watching her in the ring, and now I'm like, she's actually all right now.
Yeah,
I still think she
Face beating
looks.
somebody in.
I still think she looks stilted in the ring. I like
Yeah,
the Anna Jay walkout, but it didn't have the classic result because Brandy still won, so it was a bit pointless.
Brandy can't lose. What are you talking about, mate?
Nightmare people.
Nightmare
Yeah,
people.
it was fine.
I just don't
Like,
care.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
And obviously, we rolled into Butcher and the Blade versus Jobbers. I know one of them is called Blackwood because I wrote, "What the fuck is Blackwood?"
I just put jobbers for this because I'm just sick of these matches. That's just
They were actually all right in the match.
yeah, they were fine. It's just I don't need these named characters versus non-named characters every 5 seconds.
At least Butcher and the Blade aren't breaking up in their group, which was what I assumed was going to happen. Like, Blade would hit Butcher and Eddie Kingston would have to come in like, nah, partner. Where's your wife?
Best friend! Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm dead with it, but it's just sort of been thrown together a bit fucking gimmickly. So I'm mostly surviving off good old Eddie's amazing promo skills and New York accent. But it was solid, or wherever he's from in America, New Yorkie.
Danny Jordan versus Penelope Ford.
Jordan is getting good, and I am I think I'm going to be a Danny Jordan fan.
Yeah, she's going to be great in the future.
This match flowed much better, and you saw that it was day and night, the two. I particularly like Kip helping out get the burn book over by sitting there reading it and pulling the bit out for Penelope to see about her. But why was the mean girl fighting the mean girl?
Because we have such a weak women's division. This is all you can get, Morg.
Because we decided wins and losses matter, we have to squash people.
But I did like the fact that the commentators called it out, the mean girl versus the bad girl. It's just, it was very difficult. It's difficult to get behind one when they're both heels, even though I want Penelope to turn, because I want that whole new faction to turn face. So I was Penelope was my face in this match, and that's how I got through that part of it. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this match. Gave it a C.
It's got the same ranking as Velvet versus Brandy for me, weirdly. It's fine, not great. It's just they're both at very different ends of that scale, shall we say.
Problem is, I've now talked Strange about Stardom, and then he watches a female match here, and it's like, oh dear.
He's ruined me.
Yeah, I like Taz on commentary, just like getting himself over with the pen during this match, just continuously discussing with whatever her name is.
Vader. Vader.
Scott. Yeah, Vader Scott.
I think those three can make a really good team once they've got a bit more comfortable with the bounce with Vader, because you can see it's there, but they're obviously not quite as comfortable as Taz and Excalibur are together, because they've been together for a year now.
Yeah, and I love Taz on Dark, because I just think he loves taking the mick out of himself, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he looks bad on it. He just put over whatever he feels like, which is amazing.
Yeah, he lets Excalibur rib him, and he never gets offended, and he never gets really. It's always very over the top faux offended until it's the point when it's his boys that he has to get over, and then he doesn't take any shit. And I give props to Taz for that.
He's great. He's fantastic.
Why Tony didn't quite work with him, because Tony would sort of obviously play the correct role of backing down to the big heel, threatening him, and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Excalibur points out he's stupid and stuff, and says when he's doing dumb things. Yeah, so we're loving that. Then we rolled into the match I was most excited for. He stepped in the ring, and Cage versus Megabyte Ronnie, and I loved him. I'm glad it wasn't all one-sided. Obviously, I knew it was going to be a squash.
Yeah.
And I'd have liked to have seen Megabyte Ronnie do a bit more, get a bit more over. But, Cage is on a rampage. Maybe they could have put him against somebody else first, but he is just there to job. He did do People's Elbow.
I've been kind of come up with a food-eating pun for this that works with electric. I have been racking my brain since I watched this to give it the name of the most electric eating move in all of sports entertainment.
It was beautiful.
I will have a look at all my catering books for a suitable pun for you.
Thank you.
How does that sound?
I also love that he's eating hot dogs when, everybody always says that, wrestlers work for hot dogs if they're working, indie circuits and stuff like that. So that made me laugh as well.
Hot dogs and a handshake. Good point.
Mate. So that's what made me laugh, that he got to eat his hot dog during the match that he was given for doing this match, which I just thought was quite funny.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good little subtle joke now you've pointed out.
I also loved the area code kick in this match.
Fucking area code kick.
Instead of a 619, it was an area code kick, which was beautiful from Taz.
Oh, that's so good. Especially back to Stardom, especially because every wrestler in Stardom could do a 619, so we were just screaming it at the TV yesterday.
It's because they're
once again,
massive Rey Mysterio fans.
Yes, mate. Yes, they are.
mean, who isn't?
Yeah.
It does mean Ray does mean king.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, this was a good match.
Sorry. Yeah.
Vince McMahon. Yeah, good match. Squash, not great, obviously, but I hope we see more of Megabyte Ronnie. It got him over, and everybody involved in the commentary seemed to have a great time.
Yeah.
Cage
heads over.
let this guy get his shit in and show who he was, which is one thing that would have saved it from being a D if we ranked the matches on Dark. For me, was that it
100%,
didn't
mate.
feel like a squash because Cage let him get his shit in, even let him do his silly move on him, which
Why
someone
wouldn't
like
you?
Cage could have been all serious about. So yeah.
Then we move on to Proud and Powerful versus the American Blondes.
The Hollywood Bonds,
Hollywood
I believe.
Blondes, sorry, yes.
You guys are the old days
I'm
people.
sorry, my notes are wrong.
Well,
they
best
haven't. I don't think they're just playing with the gimmick.
That's what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
But they're
My
not
mistake
being the
there.
Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
need to turn them into a new Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah.
Arguably, this was the best match thus far on sheer wrestling, but
Yeah.
it's going to be. Proud and the Powerful are really good. Griff and Pillman are a great team, and I'm excited for them in the future. It did seem a bit rough at the time because even on some of the slaps, even Taz was like, oof. And I was like, they don't normally go oof at the blows. Griff ate a lot of shit. It was just really good wrestling, but I didn't care.
Yeah, but you know who's winning, so you don't care. That's the problem with Dark.
Unless anybody's got anything else better to say, it's a bit like a Sean Spears match now. They come out, they win, and we go, that was a good match.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give us a break. We said this about other people. Then again, we said give us a break about, is it Brody or somebody? And he wasn't on this week, so because we know Tony Khan listens.
Yeah.
All right, Sorensen versus Hobbs, match I was excited for as well. I knew Hobbs was going to win, but I'm happy there's Hobbs. I mean, I wasn't 100% sure Hobbs was going to win because we still hadn't seen the main episode of him coming in. Spinebuster is great, obviously. Too short, but a solid display.
What's his finisher's Dr. Steve Death, isn't it? If I remember
The Oklahoma Slam.
Yeah, isn't that Dr. Steve Williams' finisher?
I think it was, but it was also one that the British Bulldog used to use.
Yeah,
it was a variation because it's a running power slam, basically.
Yeah, it's really cool though. I'm glad that he's getting a few more moves into his moveset. He's probably being pushed like fuck backstage to get better, because of what the position they put him in.
It can also be
more
the fact
than
that,
just counting willpower.
Remember, he's not just a jobber anymore. So he's now in charge of getting more stuff from his repertoire in.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
He's
been put on the road.
I can go into this whole discussion of how it used to work and that from how it works backstage with trying to get your move in and letting the veteran who you're wrestling let you get you one. I can do this top rope moonsault. Can we get that in? And they'll go, yeah, sure, kid. And then they don't, or they do when you get the guy who's willing to make let people
let
see
someone else go over.
Yeah, they don't. Well, it's because they don't want the fans to see this amazing move when they're the bits. Certainly in the old school. So yeah, it was a good match. Short, and I liked Will Hobbs getting a squash.
Always ask to get your thing in with veterans. Never demand, or you'll end up like mass transit.
Yes.
Just saying. Don't fuck with New Jack.
Yeah.
Moore and Ricochet versus the Latinas.
No. Oh God, why?
I cannot again express my hatred for this woman.
It was a match,
and she infected more.
It was
infected more.
It was a bit sloppy. It wasn't botchy sloppy, but it just felt a bit sloppy. I still gave it a C. It was enjoyable. It had Evie in it, so I'm always a bit biased.
I don't know. I'd possibly put it at a low C along with the Brandy sort of match. It wasn't that smooth. Moore's gone up in power level. That was interesting. There was a bunch of elbow arm drag miscommunications.
Yeah.
Even the commentary set made a couple of oof. It did pick up at the end.
It wasn't good, guys. I'm sorry. It wasn't good. I've got to be, this match was not good. But yeah, it was a dark match. Doesn't matter that much.
We'll roll through into Colt versus QT. Once
Yep.
again, fine. Hard to care.
I just did not care, but I really dislike QT Marshall, as you guys know. I'm just sick
Are you
of him.
waiting for him to pull off the diamond cutter and win really well because he has not been able to diamond it?
Imagine
Very well.
having the diamond cutter, probably one of the more famous moves that used to get the biggest pops ever, and you can't get a pop out of anyone when you pull it off. My God.
I don't like the fact that Colt's using the lariat as opposed to the Chicago Skyline because I thought the Chicago Skyline was a really cool looking
It
finisher
is a
and very
fantastic
different.
move, yeah. I don't need another guy doing a lariat or I've got Hangman Page for his lariat. I don't need anyone else.
Obviously, Colt won. Well, I was happy Colt won, but obviously he can't win clean now because I mean I know heels are meant to cheat and shit, but can we at least have a couple more heels winning on
Merit.
merit and skill?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, fine, basically. And now the match that should have been the main event, if you ask me. I do not understand why the Bravalon match was put in third from the end. Like, don't get me wrong, I have
Bad
some
booking.
issues with the match, but it's the driving storyline.
It's the only storyline on Dark apart from random Brandy storylines that she starts then doesn't finish. But more on that later. Yeah. Why was this in the middle? Like, I knew it was going to be a double count out or something that made them so this can keep going till a pay-per-view, but...
We had this match. Don't get me wrong, they're great together. Really good. I quite enjoyed Avalon's alternative style ending and fucking Brandon's extravagant I am a level 90 Dungeons and Dragons player with his LARP helmet. Brilliant.
I mean, it was terrible helmet, but yeah, here we go. Choosing the Stand to beat someone to death with was a good book. It's massive. So, that's my main comment from this.
Did I recognize the book this time? Was it?
It was Stephen King's The Stand.
That's right.
Yeah. One day I will finish that book.
Oh, good luck, mate. Good luck. It's fucking massive.
What I can remember reading.
So yeah, we really enjoyed this match. The
match was
and I.
good.
We enjoyed it. The ending was, I think it was the right ending, especially as you weren't making it the main event.
Sorry, I just have to get any cynicism out of my soul before we get to Dynamite.
Leva Bates was fucking amazing in this match.
Great.
She gets extra points as well for in Dynamite. This will mean probably nothing to you two, but she was cosplaying as Aerith from Final Fantasy. And me and the Raptor, this was very distracting through the first couple of matches because me and the Raptor were going, is she cosplaying as Aerith? I think she is.
Goddamn
Anime was a mistake.
Yeah, on my podcast.
I am going to give one great shout out to something I thought was cool as fuck in this, though.
Yeah,
there was a moment where Brandon slung Avalon at the corner post and he just caught on, span through the ring and came back out again.
That was so good.
It was smooth.
So smooth and everything. I was like, fucking hell. And there was a massive reverse DDT. It was Brandon that did it, I think. And that was lots of really cool moves. They're getting on
together. They're fantastic.
Brandon needs Avalon for the promo game, though. He's just so soft voiced. Like, he looks great. He's great in the ring, but he's got no, like, when he shouts or screams in anger, it's not it's there's no.
He reminds me of a substitute teacher that you just bullied at school. Is the problem
we need to take him LARPing.
Come on, Brandon. Let's do this.
What? Have to deal with us, poor bastard. Right. Anyway, let's move on.
Jobbers versus the Best Friends.
Wow. I don't care.
Jobbers had a good gimmick. I was feeling it.
Which jobbers were these? I'm trying to remember.
We look up their names.
What did they look like? Just brief description.
Nick, I was basically buying time because I've completely forgotten, and now you've put me on the spot. Cheers, bro.
Yeah, burying you.
You piece of shit.
It's our own Taz and Excalibur.
Fucking hell.
Got to take my opportunities when I can.
Oh, great. It's not even showing the fucking latest.
Doesn't matter. Carry on.
Either way, I like that gimmick. It was pretty cool. Trent's got some big heel energy going on in this. The jobbers were actually really good. It was solid. But once again, I've seen a lot of best friends recently. I can't believe I'm saying cut down on the best friends
We
time.
don't need more best friends.
I didn't need to see more best friends, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
Just a quick research: Max Stardom and Dante Smiley.
Right. Thank you, Morg. Max Stardom. Dante Smiley. What were their gimmicks? Oh, it's Max with 2 X's.
Oh, look at him. Can afford 2 X's. What a fancy bastard.
Oh no, his surname's Stardom. So guess what my algorithm has brought up?
Something good, apparently.
Really good women's wrestling.
Right, anyway. So
Solid match.
let's get to the final of this. Dark Order versus the Gun Club and Private Party. I liked how Austin Gunn brought out some gum for Taz as the callback to the Gun Club that was last time.
The guns look so good. They've got a great theme already, and I'm
like
feeling it.
Yeah, they're great.
Did suffer a bit from one person. Reynolds ate shit for most of the match, and then Quen ate shit for most of the match. Reynolds took like 8 axe handles to his one arm.
Yeah.
But it was great when it was going.
It was really good.
We got the good, solid AEW one person, then one person, then one person, and one person sequence, which AEW is just actually really good at doing.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Anything with tag teams, they're just really good. You know.
Thank God it was a heel win. Thank fucking shit. If we've complained a lot about the age of faces and domination, so I'm glad to see the heels are getting some wins, even if it's only actually on Dark.
At least someone's winning that's a heel. Yeah. No, it was an all right Dark. I just did
basically
not
a C.
Yeah,
if I had to recommend matches to watch, I would say watch Bravalon, obviously.
Watch Megabyte and Cage. That was
Watch
fun.
Megabyte and Cage, and then follow Megabyte and push him. And the Powerful versus Griffin Pillman would probably have been more exciting had it not have been in an hour and a half.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'd watch the finale because it was actually quite good and exciting.
It was fun. It was fun.
It's a C that could have been a B with a few more promos and a few less squash matches, in essence.
Yeah.
In my mind.
So moving on to Dynamite, the main show this week. Dynamite opens, Shivani JR Excalibur on commentary, and we open with Jurassic Express in the ring. Young Bucks come down and super kick the ref.
Okay.
Yeah, we then lead into Jurassic Express with Marco versus FTR with Tully Blanchard. FTR win by an assisted roll-up. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Obviously, this was a smooth match. Sharp, solidly done. I'm not a fan of double Ranas. That seems to be a thing which is going on now. I've seen them in a couple of matches.
Double Ranas. They're so unrealistic. I know wrestling's unrealistic as it is, but they're like shattering the believability.
I don't mind it every now and then, but we've seen like 3 in like 2 weeks. And although I have like two things on my list of wrestling moves I don't like. One is Kaz pulling people over the top rope.
Okay.
Pulling it. I've complained about that before, though, and as people said, it's wrestling. And now it's double Ranas.
Not destroyers.
We all hate Canadian destroyers now.
It's true, yeah.
Otherwise, like there was a brutal fucking bounce on Wheeler on the ropes that he bumped off, and I was like, "Fuck, son."
Yes, mate.
Saw is back on form. Like we went through
the power slam he did off. I can't remember which of the FTRs it was that dove at him, and he just power slammed them from it. It was smooth as fuck.
That looks so nice.
We've been through a journey with Luchasaurus. We loved him at the start. Then we kind of got a bit bored. He was just following the same sequences and doing the same things over there. And he's really, these last couple of weeks, he's got back on fucking form. And I'm happy for it. Jungle Boy was made of reversals and looked like a fucking star in this match, if you ask me.
Yeah, he looked great. He just looked fantastic.
30 win was a bit weird because I'm pretty sure it was a rope break. I mean... But, heels get dirty wins. I gave this match a B. I thought it was really good. And even though, I'm over FTR, basically, I had a really good time in this match. I didn't really look away.
was a solid match. I would give it a high C, low B myself, but
So it's down to me to cast a deciding vote.
It is.
Well, you said high C, low B. You've said B. I've got it down as a BA. We really enjoyed this match. This match was really good. It flowed. There was chemistry. Like you said, we saw new stuff from Luchasaurus. That power slam.
Yeah, we're just really getting another side to Jurassic Express. Not that they weren't good, but we're now getting a taste of star power, shall we say.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a B, boys. It's down, which is good. That's nice and even.
So following on from that, we had a backstage segment with Private Party and Matt Hardy, where Matt Hardy has been beaten down by somebody, and Hager and Jericho turn up to go, "Oh, what a tragedy!"
I wonder who it could have been.
Did you rank this, or
No.
I think it was just filler.
Yeah.
My one comment is Jericho, king of coats. God, he's just fucking awesome.
Maybe in AEW, but
Yeah, fair. He's no Tanner. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't know. There is Jericho's famous flashing coat from his WWE days. That was pretty special.
Look up Tanahashi's full cloak with single feathery shoulder pads.
Oh, fair enough.
Or if you like a bit of funk,
Juice's outfit.
Juice. Right, yeah, no, good section. It's a bit weird that Matt didn't just go, it was them.
Yeah, why didn't Matt just go, it was him? I saw it.
Who did this to you? They're there. They're literally there.
I didn't get that, but yeah, fair enough. Matt Hardy's not able to help Private Party in this bout later on in the show.
So then Kenny joins commentary, and we have Kazarian versus Hangman. Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Once again, obviously,
good match.
Obviously good. We always say Kaz is great. We always say Paige is great, and Paige is the best actor. Kenny was actually good on commentary as well.
Fantastic. The Kenny Hangman dynamic during this match was beautiful. Just him looking back forlornly every so often at the ring ropes and or at commentary, like looking for help, was fantastic through the whole match. His shooting star press.
Mate, I've got that written down. And the running shooting star press he did on the floor, I paused to rewatch like twice. He floated
so
over.
Good.
His hang time was magical. If I had to give it a criticism, I'd say I crossed my kick out limit once. I was like, we're reaching a lot of kick outs here, boys. Good ending, good brawl, solid. I had really good time. We're going to get a lot of this show. I gave it a B again because I had a great time.
I gave this an A through the storytelling that was involved in it. And I think the whole thing of like, every time Hangman did something, Kenny was there to put him down and like say why he's not that good and stuff like that. Like when he pulled out, I can't remember what his old finisher was from like 2 years ago that he pulled it out, and then it was like, oh, he must be getting desperate now. He hadn't seen him use that in a while and stuff like that. I just thought it was really good work.
Morg, you're the decider.
So this was really hard hitting, really solid. And I sided with Muir. I gave this an A, and I understand what Muir said to me beforehand, which was I watched the second match and went, well, I don't know how they're going to follow that. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this match.
It is, boys. It's rounding up to be a very good show, but we knew that anyway, except for the next match.
So following on from that, it's more on that in a matter of seconds. MJF with Wardlow versus Sean Dean. MJF wins with the salt of the earth within about 3 seconds.
Didn't see the match.
Didn't see the start of the match. Didn't see Dean's entrance. It started with fucking MJF battering him. And then there was not even the best promo MJF's done, just like
generic.
Maybe I'll go join a faction. Oh, okay, great. I didn't even rank this. If we're gonna have to, I'm giving it a D though. What do you boys think?
I didn't even see this because I went to college. I paused my show, went to college, then came back for this, and and when I resumed, I must have missed it due to something. Yeah, I just don't care.
I think you blinked.
Yeah, pointless. And I thought they were trying to like make wasn't Sean Dean in his like entourage, and they were trying to build him slightly.
No, that was Lee Johnson.
No, that was Lee Johnson. Yeah, my mistake. Sorry. Yeah, who cares? You know, generic.
Yeah. Weakest part. That's our first low ranking in this show.
So next up was one of Taz's draw on the screen segments about Ricky Stark's
I was
moves.
so happy to see this back.
Did you guys rank this?
I didn't rank it because, once again, I don't know if it's meant to be taken seriously or not. And you guys know how funny I find these moments.
They're
so it came up,
good.
and I instantly started laughing, like straight away. There was no pause. I was into the... Nothing will ever beat the one for the fucking blackout, where it was like he holds him above his head and then drives him down, just that down arrows. Sorry, boys, you've got to review these because I can't take them seriously. Go.
Oh, they're so good. Like, I think they're an S-tier comedy segment myself. Every time they come up, I start laughing. So, you know, I think they're brilliant.
As I've said before, I'm sticking with because Taz has got the old shoot fighter gimmick. They're not meant to be funny. That's, I think, the problem with them.
We
can't rank them until we know.
I'm sorry. When you say that Cage's neck is too big for a move in a part of them, it's not real anymore.
I just think, that's the problem.
It's so good.
Bruce is very excited about one day us saving to go on the Jericho cruise. So if one day I go on the Jericho cruise, I will find Taz and ask him. Just so I know.
So following on from that was an Eddie Kingston with the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade in-ring promo. Did you rank the promo? What did you think of it?
I really liked Find a Victim. It was badass. I like the fact that they just kicked fuck out of people whilst Eddie sat on the corner and shit.
Just watching, yeah. It was great.
I thought this was great. I didn't rank it. I think if I did, I'd probably give it a B because this is my sort of style thing.
Yo, Blade, what about your wife?
Hey, Blade, where's your wife? No, partner.
That was my only problem with it, was a kayfabe break at the end, the get your house in order. And Ali is in such a kayfabe story that it was just, me and the Raptor were talking about it, and I just found it to be very confusing.
Do you know what's happening?
Tie it into my conspiracy theory of Ali
Here we go.
Diamond Cutter from QT, and Blade and such like as center, is either sent her off or she has gone to do this, and that will be revealed so that once QT actually pulls off the Diamond Cutter to win a match, she'll have the method and can give it to Blade. That's my theory, and I'm going with it. It's a bit weird how they did it at the end, but I reckon they'll tie it back in solidly.
Or do you think it is that another thing that Brandy's tried has failed? Now they're just trying to get Ali back on side with the Butcher and Blade. That's what I feel it is.
Just silence. How dare you?
So possible. Following on from that, Private Party versus Jericho and Hager. Jericho wins with the Judas effect. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
I think this was the best match I've seen Jake Hager in.
I thought that.
I've got hardly any comments on this, which normally means I've had a solid time. Not the best time, but just a good time.
Enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I just sat there and watched it, and I've once again been a big critic of Private Party in the past, and I've said that they have too many long setup sequences. And I'm going to say the same thing I said about Dino Saw. I loved them at the start, then I went off them through repetition, and now they're winning me back again with a new array of skills. For me, it's a B. If I don't make comments on the match, that's a B for me because it doesn't cross that A line where I need to jot shit down.
I didn't hate the silly string in this one. It actually looked a little more organic, and I liked it. Worked. Yeah,
I enjoyed it in this match, and I normally
like the silly string. It's a rare occurrence.
Yeah, I hate that move as well, but it worked in this match because I gave it a B. It's over to you, Mr. Muir.
I gave it a CB because I wasn't sure on where I was going to rank it, but I think it should be a C. Like, they're getting better, but I don't think compared to everything else on this show, it's a C. Like, on a not so good night of Dynamite, I'd give it a B, but yeah.
Well, sadly, you're outvoted because we've both given it B, so fuck you. Silence to that one.
Just some right.
Again.
So next up, we had Evilise versus Thunder Rosa for the NWA Women's Championship. Thunder Rosa wins with a tombstone pile driver. What do you think of the match? What score did you give it? And obviously, we're going to discuss the elephant in the room now.
It's weird that Rosa had a better match with Shida than she had with Evilise, who she has wrestled several
Because
times.
Shida is fucking amazing, and people don't understand how well she carries other wrestlers.
We had at the start, I was like, this is a bit awkward. Evie doesn't really seem to be selling.
Well, you
Nothing's
know,
not that
Evie didn't care because she was back into her pants instead of wearing
Got
actual
her,
ring
yeah.
gear. Yeah. Evie-
It was the worst example was when she was on the floor and Thunder Rosa was putting her into a full Nelson position, if I recall.
Yeah, she was
And
trying to get her into the full Nelson. She just refused to do it. And it's just like, come on,
And
mate.
she looked disinterested.
But that was that the moment that the kick happened?
That's when
Yeah.
That's when Thunder Rosa just got fucking sick of her being a pain in the ass and started beating her.
I'll give you guys can give your thoughts on it. Me and the Raptor really
Yeah.
enjoyed this match, and at the beginning, because we knew about this thing coming up, we were watching it. Go, well, what is it? It was fast paced. There was lots of stuff going on, and we were like, well, we can't see this moment. We couldn't see what was up, and then there was that move, which was it was the full Nelson move, and Evie's just looking really disinterested at the camera, and then Thunder Rosa just kicks her, and me and Rap like, oh, that was the moment. Yes.
And because
and then it picked up again. So it just seemed to
no,
be
the
this
last
bit in the
half-
middle. Just seemed to be this bit in the middle to us, because the beginning seemed really high paced, as if they were feeling each other out was the only criticism we could give. Maybe we were looking too hard because we knew something was coming.
could be. I found the first half a bit lazy and a little bit clumsy.
Yeah.
But the last half was strong.
As soon as Evie got, kicked back into line, because she's like that, unfortunately, she was really
as
good.
far as we're aware.
Yeah, from what we've seen and heard.
I really like Rosa's. She's got a luchador brawler rudo style, which is very uncommon in women.
Yeah.
They tend to be high flyers. Yeah, the awkward dichotomy of the match. I gave it a C. It was. The problem is it's got good and bad, so I can't realistically step it up to a B. So it's just a C rank match for me. It was all right.
It was C for myself as well. It was solid enough. Like the second half of this match would have got it a B if it was the whole match. But
so I'm outvoted.
Did you give it a B?
I did, because as I say, but it might have been because we couldn't see what it was. There was just that little segment in the middle where it just seemed. But yeah, I'm happy to say that to concede there.
To acquiesce to our requests. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll get better. I hope they're keeping both of them permanently.
AEW needs Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, she's so good.
And Shida running
like Shida championing.
Shida running in for the save. I like Shida putting the belt on Rosa, which the commentator's going about, yeah, that's class. And I just turned around to Raptor and sort of went, yeah, that was Shida very subtly going, I just saved your ass, I beat you before. Oh, here's your title. So I think we're obviously going to get the Shida Thunder Rosa rematch.
Then a rubber match. Then a rubber match for both belts at the end.
I don't think she's being smug. I think she's being a generic face hero because she saved Tay Conti from Nyla last week as well.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think she was being smug.
No.
Okay.
I think she was subtly going. I think there was a little subtle. Here's your belt because I'm a baby face, but I also think there's you've got that underlying. I'd look really good with two belts.
Yeah. I mean, if Billy Coogan won't sell the NWA to Big Don Shad, he's a maniac. Billy Coogan makes no money and literally pays his very little money to his wrestlers because it's not a big thing over there. More on this later. You know what? More on this later. Roll on.
So after that, we had a Kip and Miro promo. What did you think of it? Did you give it a score?
It was fine. Didn't blow my mind. Didn't really excite me, if I'm honest. Sorry, guys.
My favorite
Miro is made of
of
beef.
this
Go on.
was Miro in the background when Kip was counting, he went 24, 25, 30. There, I'm done.
Last.
which was great. I really
Love
enjoyed that
Miro.
heel work. Yeah, Miro looks great. I liked how fun and gamey they are with each other. They just seem to be having a bit of a laugh. You know, they seem happy with each other, which
They
is quite
look-
fun to see.
Yeah, they've got chemistry.
Yeah.
Which if you just, as far as I can tell from my knowledge, they've just pulled it out of the bag. Maybe they've been gaming together for a while. I know they both do
No.
Twitch and they're both big gamers. Maybe they.
As far as I could tell, they have not. But I could be wrong, obviously, from what
Yeah.
I've seen on
So,
their
yeah,
Twitch channels. It's
Well,
just...
I wasn't necessarily meaning in public on Twitch.
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
You know, there is a possibility.
They've
You
just
know
been
that
playing it offline, yeah.
yeah, that they've just, you know, I don't know. They seem to have banter. Miro looked amazing.
Did look like it.
He has bulked. He has stripped. I mean, he wasn't. He was a big, muscly guy before, but he looked absolutely much like when Mox came back to WWE after he'd been out injured for a while, and he came back and had lost loads and had literally just turned into a beast. I was happy with it.
I also enjoyed it cut it away before Kip had to do his reps on the way.
Yeah, that was the
fun.
best bit. That was the best joke.
It was well done. So after that, we had Lance Archer and Jake Roberts come out for an in-ring promo. Team Taz come out, and they are Lance's team partners. Mox comes out. Starks and Cage jump him. I was watching behind, and I was going, "That's Ricky Starks. I recognise those eyes." Will Hobbs for the save. Mox then announces that Will Hobbs will be his partner, and of course, he announces the obvious and correct other partner for him, and calls Darby Allin to come out and join him. What did you think of the segment? Did you give it a score?
I did. I really enjoyed this. Obviously, I'm a bit of a Lance fanboy because I enjoy my brutal wrestlers. I loved him pulling El Fuego out. El Fuego sounds like a fucking G, and yeah, I'm getting a bit more of a like for him because I watched Sammy's vlog and stuff.
Yeah.
Jake's mic wasn't loud enough at the start of his promo work, which was a bit of a problem. He sort of started with the chanting going over him, and I was like, "Oh, this is can't quite hear Jake. I wonder what's written on him."
I also have to state that this whole promo does get a +1 for Jake Roberts opening it with the lines of "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah, it gets a +1 for that.
I like the Devil, Tasmanian Devil quote. That was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have picked Team Taz to go with Lance and
Why
Archer.
not?
I think it's the right pick.
Mostly because they were having like the rivalry shouting at him at the start. Like last week they were like big rival enemies, and now they're. I'm down with it. They won me over, but maybe they could have like hired Wardlow or something.
I think it was because you've got to buy him out of MJF's contract.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
but I do like the fact
family.
Yeah, and his family. I thought it was completely the correct shout. I thought when it came up that he was going to be looking for tag team partners and he came down, I was like, I thought that so it makes sense for many layers.
Yeah, with
one, it's obvious who one of Moxie's partners is going to be, irrelevant of who the opposite team is, because it's the right choice for his partner. We have seen this, and I have been a big proponent of this particular alliance because it has made sense right from the beginning. So it was correct for that, and it was the right. They'd had the slanging match, and I thought Jake Roberts, being such a good promo man, explained why.
It won me over. This entire thing still got a B at the end. Like, I had a great time. I love the fact that Lance has learned how to promo from Jake. Like, I was like, oh, Lance, you're not just shouting and everything. You've got your southern, like, deep, slow speech going on. And fucking Hobbs showed up and I fucking popped because I'm excited for him.
Mate, Hobbs with a chair is my next character concept if I have to play D&D as a bard. It gets me pumped when I see a man coming with a chair like that. I am inspired to fight if I see that.
So
also, we've got the small potential for if Mox does lose his belt at any point, he's basically got a burgeoning little faction he could have, a little stable.
So this is where I was going. The other thing about this, a babyface stable, that'd be good, wouldn't it? So
A rough and tough tumble one.
I know you two are not as big a fans of Mox as I am, but
This was a great promo
this is
from him.
massive for Will Hobbs. Not
Yeah.
only this is a massive rub. Yes, if the heels are winning, Hobbs is probably eating
Hobbs
the
is
pin.
the young lion in this match.
Yeah.
But I think Darby's the better one to eat the pin. I think.
Yeah, we'll give Hobbs more of a push if
'Cause
I'm
I
honest,
don't
and it
think-
means Ricky can do him over. Yeah.
And then Darby can do Ricky and get the proper babyface revenge, which is exactly how it should be. But this is a massive rub for Hobbs, because not only are you going to be, you're being pulled up instantly, you have backing up the top guy. So
Yeah,
they
exactly.
obviously see something in Hobbs that we saw early on.
Weeks ago. What did you boys give it then? I gave it this section a B.
I gave it an A, because everything was just exactly as I thought it should be in the story.
It's the
Muir is the decider.
It really made me pop. I was really excited. I loved him shouting like, "Get your ass here, Darby! I need you for this fight." I thought it was like a good rallying of the, of the guard, of the goodies coming in. I'm not sure. It's a hard one. It's either a B or an A, definitely.
You're the decider. We've got in early. This is why you've got to be the first person to
I'm
say your
going with
rank.
A to spite you for getting me lower in the other one. It's an A.
Oh, ooh, fair
yeah.
cop.
So, moving on from that high to another high.
Jeez.
Best friends versus Proud and Powerful in a parking lot brawl. Best friends win. That's all I'm going to say about my usual little preamble to explain the match. What did you guys think of this match? What score did you give it?
Right, where to start? Start off with the first. I love the dead president's reference that Santana Ortiz had. The face paint was from a bank truck robbing film. Really good film. Recommend it. Jesus, this match was fantastic. This is the best street fight I've seen.
We were watching this at the same time, and Nick messaged me to say, "I bet you're loving this," and I just sent back a photo of my notes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was like, I'm not a big hardcore fan, but this was right up my alley as well. It wasn't too unnecessarily gory. You could show this to your mate that doesn't like it, that's squeamish. It was just great. I don't know what more to say. Should we go through the moves and things? What happened?
No, I'm in. Fuck this. This is exactly my fucking match.
Yeah.
This is the thing I love. This is me.
Yeah.
Solid fucking brawl start. The boot sentons were fucking wicked. It was just an all-out Indies match done to the best. I had great fun throughout. We had sledgehammer throws. We had fucking bits of wood being thrown into each other. The fucking snow shuffle.
Yes, mate. Oh,
Enough
God,
people
this was
stood
great.
in the background, like Brandon, all that, like it was literally a fucking Street Fighter fight.
Yeah.
There were so many, not quite many moves. Like, I think Ortiz got one of them up for a powerbomb move at the moment, and he almost dropped him, and then somebody knocked it out. Trent almost did the spinning DDT off a car, and every time I was like,
Jesus, it was
ooh! And they
just fantastic.
didn't hit a single like power move on the concrete.
No.
But I don't, I didn't even remember that. Trent is always in Japan. The plank, the hip toss onto the bins. Fucking Orange Cassidy coming out of the boot to save Chucky T at the end. Fucking Crunchy threw a piece of wood into the floor of the fucking Toyota van, whatever. I gave this a fucking A. I sailed through it. I didn't look away. And it got an S rank ending for me for Sue giving him the finger out of the car after picking him up. The genuine concern she had for Trent when he went over to the window.
I mean, he was fucking pissing blood out of his back after that double suplex into the glass. Fucking hell. It was great.
Loved it.
No, it was fantastic. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, it's either an A or an S for me. The way it got people talking about it afterwards, I think, you could argue that it was
5 stars.
Yeah.
It's a 5-star match.
5-star match should be our S rank. That's
well,
how our ranks work up.
Yeah, but we don't have to agree with Meltzer,
I mean, I'm willing to give this an S. I think this is the match that will be talked about. I think it had comedy, brutality. I didn't think anything was too silly. I didn't think anything was too brutal. I didn't look away. It's the conclusion to a story arc. I mean, I think Morg might be right. It might be a roll it up into an S.
Like Mick Foley said, that it was the best hardcore match he's seen. You know, like he didn't think he could do anything better than that. So you know.
It's the best
Gotta be them boys.
hardcore match I have seen in a big promotion since Mick Foley and Edge at WrestleMania. There is one of my favourite Lucha Underground matches.
Oh God, fucking.
Is it Weapons of Mass Destruction?
Yes, that's what it was called.
The Kill Shot and
Weapons of Mass Destruction was Marty against Killshot. You're thinking of Dante Fox versus him.
Yeah, I am.
Which is the Horrors of War match?
Horrors of War match, yes.
The
Horrors of which was my favourite hardcore match. That was a hardcore match. I'm not going to say up until this point. I'm going to say alongside this one and alongside Edge and Mick Foley's WrestleMania hardcore match, which is my other favourite hardcore match. The things that were good about this, you didn't have half an hour of one team being on top. Every time the other member of the other team came in and did the save, did the stop, came in. We didn't have 4 hours of one team. It was just full on solid action. It was a great hardcore match, and it also proved, so as much as I like the Horrors of War, which had a lot of blood and really horrifying moments, but it just had so much passion and story and was just so good. This one didn't have all those, but you still had people going through the car. You had the sledgehammer going through the window. You had people being pile driven, probably perfectly safely onto a car.
Yeah,
but it looked absolutely brutal.
Yeah,
I've got to put it up there. I say the Horrors of War match is an S rank match for me, and as I've just put it on par with that. And I also say that Mick Foley, this is an S rank hardcore match. I don't think it competes with, as a match, I don't think it competes with Hangman Omega versus the Young Bucks. If we were comparing the two, that one would edge it out. But as a hardcore match, it's an S rank hardcore match. Yeah, I gave it an S. I thought it was really good.
I might watch those two matches back to back just because I am the hardcore representative of our little team. And I'm now intrigued which one I enjoyed more.
I just need to get 2 mentions in here. I'm glad to see that Trent is rich enough to be doing a match like this in Levi jeans, which means, you know, he must be doing all right for himself, which is quite nice. And why didn't Lil Kazu come and save them when they needed him most?
It's going to happen.
It should have been a Okada out of that boot. I'm just saying, lads.
One day, Harold will sign the contract and Okada will come to save his best friends of Chucky T and Trent. And it'll happen. It has to happen. And he'll show up in his little ship captain hat, eating a piece of food weirdly. So yeah, that's the episode, boys. We've got a D, a C, 2 Bs and 2 As and an S. I think we can happily say this is an A-ranked episode of Dynamite.
I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the best ones we've had in a long time. And other than that MJF,
yeah, but that was 5 seconds. It doesn't matter.
No. Just everything was good to great, basically.
So there you have it. That's our review of the week. So an A-rank BTE, an A-rank Dynamite. This is definitely a week to watch some AEW wrestling. Now we move over into the segment where we have questions. And Mr. Strange, I believe we have a question.
We do. My friend Robin has sent one through to us on Facebook. What groups would you like to see formed? With who and why? Inspired by the sudden thought of Cutler forming a group by getting a bunch of other wrestlers into D&D and maybe running a game for them. Well, Robin, I'm going to open by telling you that Brandon Cutler does in fact run a D&D game for wrestlers. It's called Critical Botch. It's on YouTube on his channel, which is just Brandon Cutler on YouTube, and he runs it with the best friends, the other members of the initiative, and Colt Cabana. So, boys, what groups would you like to see and why?
Right, there's a little stable called Donna Del Monte. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, they're fucking phenomenal. Well, shall I go first? Because I've
Yeah.
got mine ready.
If you've got a
'cause I
serious one,
Yeah.
go ahead first.
I
mate.
mean, it's not necessarily a serious one. It is one that exists in our cinematic universe.
Oh, right. I knew
Is it
this
the
was coming.
Chads?
It is the
Yes!
wholesome Chads. The wholesome, swolesome Chads. Once Wardlow is obviously bought out from
And this family.
and his family are bought out from being owned by MJF, and John Silver is kicked out of the Dark Order for being too amazingly shit.
Hang on. So we don't know what John Silver's really spent his million on. Does he use that to buy Wardlow out?
Buy Wardlow's freedom. Oh my god, I'm gonna put that on Twitter and suggest it for it. Fuck, son. That's
Also,
great.
he buys 100 hot dogs and leads a trail to get Megabyte Ronnie into the team as well.
Oh shit, son.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Cage in there, but you know what? Cage was
Megabyte
only in there
Ronnie.
because I needed another swole dude, but Megabyte Ronnie is fucking swole as fuck as well.
Yes,
So
mate.
yeah, he buys 1 million hot dogs. He frees Wardlow, and John Silver founds the Wholesome Chads, a group of incredibly buff faces who are a bit dumb but incredibly swollen sexy and wander around trying to be good guys, but sometimes getting it wrong.
Do you have Swole join them and be the only actual non-dumb one in the group?
Yes,
Yes.
perfect. It's even a gimmick, and she can have swolesome moments as well.
Yeah.
Public swolesome announcements. Perfect. Good work. You boys have actually added to my perfect stable, and I'm writing it down to tell people about later. What do you guys got?
So I'm going to go with a slightly more sensible one, and we touched on it earlier. That I kind of need your help for my
Of course.
other people because I'm not sure. So I want to do an Outcasts type group.
Yep.
And obviously the two set pieces are Mox and Darby Allin because it's made sense. It's been this story, and I quite like the idea. We've had them fighting each other, so I think it's time to keep on the track of actually they get on better. Even they might be an uneasy alliance because they're both loners. So like it's a lone wolf collective type thing.
You got to add in Will Hobbs, obviously. 'cause we've
Well,
got
see,
the,
I'm not sure. Is he outsider enough?
No.
Is my worry. See, I'm afraid I'd be wanting to steal Wardlow from your Chadley men.
Oh, he is a bit outsidery, but I am going to allow you / gift you Thunder Rosa. Who is a death
yes.
metal Mexican rudo brawler fucking queen. So yeah, you get Rosa from me. That's my addition to yours, seeing as now we're adding one each to each other's
Yeah, I
stables.
think that works.
For an outsider.
Yeah, it's got to be someone who's almost got that kind of outsider type gimmick. Or do you just get Sean
Paige.
Dean in? Oh,
Sean Dean. Paige is currently an outsider. Paige currently has no friends.
You've got too much buying power in that stable then. You don't need
Yeah, true.
Moxley
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Hangman.
And yeah, that is all of your drawery boys.
Yeah.
yes. No, if you had Will Hobbs in there and Moxley Hangman, but even Moxley Darby, I think is drawing enough because it's all about trying to make the other two.
Yeah, true.
The greatest stables, and Evolution was a great stable, even though at the times it was shit. But it was a great stable because the two guys who weren't the main eventers, Batista and Randy Orton, went on to become two of the biggest stars.
Yeah.
Swap Hobbs for Lee Johnson because Lee Johnson has just been kicked out of the group ran by MJF.
Yeah, good thinking, Batman.
And it gives you a alternative kind of like cardio flippy athletic wrestler because Darby is super flippy speed, Mox is brawler, Lee Johnson is more of that kind of athletic wrestle style. I know athletic and super fast and flippy are similar, but I hope you don't understand what I mean.
But that's good because if they've got chemistry, they can become the tag team to go for the tag team championships.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the thing you always want in a good stable. You want your tag team that are solid.
This is a good question. Like, we're fucking on this now.
Okay,
So-
Mr. Muir.
So you know that Thunder Rosa has the power to control lizards, right? We do remember this from Lucha Underground, right?
She was
God.
Cobra Moon.
If you say it, the raptor will collapse in hysterics when she listens to this.
So, like,
Jeremiah Snake.
no, first of all, what's stopping her from just fucking stealing Luchasaurus. She has the powers just to use her lizard powers to steal Luchasaurus and turn him
we've got
heel.
Cobra Moon, Vibora. Okay, carry
Yeah.
on.
Well, no, it's not Vibora. It's Luchasaurus. It's a different character. He's just a lizard again. So, you know, it's his own
Dean.
fault.
Okay.
Dean gets captured.
Yeah.
She brings in Jeremiah Snake, obviously, because he's the drawing power of this stable.
Sammy Callahan.
Who else has Snake-like? Randy Orton. He's a Viper. She goes steals him as well.
Randy Orton, the vibe. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is quite the power stable. You've got the NWA Women's Champion, the 6'8" man who can backflip, a hardcore legend who is actually sort of respected for making the first ever Universal Women's Champion.
Yep.
And of course, the legend, the legend
Orton.
killer, the Viper, Randy Orton. Is it called "Don't Tread on Snake"?
Yes, mate.
Tread on Snake.
More seriously, I would like to see maybe a Luchador stable with Thunder Rosa and Pentagon and Phoenix, and then maybe
that
one
could be
other.
quite cool. Like a
Joking
dirty
that-
street.
Yeah, dirty
lucha.
street thug luchas, basically an almost lucha underground stable inside, you know, AEW.
So
You
who's
could
your
throw
fourth?
Serpentico.
Who's your fourth? There, you see, I was suddenly wondering whether Luther or Serpentico would have worked in my outsider stable.
Yeah.
If we were being a bit
Yeah,
more
you're not wrong,
serious.
actually,
Yeah, no, they
Um,
would be better. Who would I put in for my fourth in that stable? Oh, that's a hard one. Unless I'm bringing someone in, but it would have been Rey Mysterio, but he re-signed.
Oh, is he re-signed? That's a shame.
Yeah,
Well, you want another sort of gritty heel. Maybe Serpentico's not a bad choice, actually, because you've got that same thing where you've got Penta and Phoenix can pull him up, and Thunder Rosa can pull him up.
And he's actually really good, and he is the smallest of them.
come on.
Yeah, I think he'd work with them, if I'm honest. I think that's a good
Or
dirty lucha.
If you're going for that Lucha Underground sort of like, you could turn Darby heel, and I think he'd fit in really well with them.
Yeah, true, actually.
You could change his face paint to go for the more Sugar Skull.
Oh, he could turn more into a luchador, but I think you'd rather raise someone else up because I don't think Darby
Glad you
needs
boys are
help.
fighting over members of your stables, because mine's solid and strong.
Just because we built it for you.
Oh, I had half of it ready.
I know.
We're still. My stable has still got eyes on Wardlow, right?
Right. Yeah, I think maybe some sort of Mexican, almost street thuggish sort of level, you know, mean streets of Mexico's level stable would be very good. But I don't know. You could also do the Puerto Rican style stable of LAX again, which would be really good with Ivelisse and De Monte and Proud and Powerful.
I was about to say that. I quite like the idea of
Eddie.
Yeah, and Eddie.
an Eddie. Yeah, I think Eddie is the mouthpiece, Proud and
Yeah.
Powerful, and Ivelisse and Diamante to be their women's influence. Because one thing I'm quite pleased that we've done is we've done that thing we always said we wanted. We've added women into our stables because I think it's something that always annoys me when they don't have it, especially when you're trying to push
done
women's
really well.
wrestling.
You're really well seeing AW essentially has 4 women's wrestlers.
Yes. But the Dark Order now has it makes so much sense with the Dark Order having Anna Jay because they want to go after all the gold, and at some point they need to be going after all the gold.
Proper heel.
I still think what AEW misses mostly is actual babyface stable, like proper baby faces. You know, people that are actual, you know, like rules obeyers and stuff like that.
Well, it's all right because Morg is praying for Kip, Penelope, and Muir to become face.
Yeah,
so
but
maybe...
they'd be shit to your faces. They'd be like asshole-ish and face. They
They
wouldn't be
would.
face.
I've got the wholesome Chads.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
wholesome
wholesome Chads.
are a babyface faction who go
Yeah.
around helping people. They're just a bit dumb and sometimes make
no, I'm
mistakes.
down with that. No, fair point. I'm just thinking about like stables we've actually got. We don't really have anyone that is pure babyface.
I mean, even the one that I came up with, my sort of outsiders faction is still. They
Dirty
are the guys who
babyface,
they
yeah.
will kick. Yeah, you know that Mox is going to come out with the barbed wire baseball bat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the Nightmare family.
But they're so
No,
bad.
I know. but it is the Nightmare People, but
Fucking
without
Nightmare
Brandy,
People.
preferably,
She's so
We'll have-
bad.
We're
and
gonna
with
have
Max
the breakup.
Cardona.
We're gonna have the breakup of the Nightmare People.
Hopefully.
Cody will come back in some kind of vengeful beast way. Bucks and Paige are going through their sad
up, yeah.
evil arc, which will take about 8 months. Then they'll get back together, become the goodies, and retake the show.
Titles,
Because
yeah.
Bucks have never actually taken the titles.
No.
Paige hasn't taken a title, so it won't feel too
Forced,
contrived and
yeah.
shit. Yeah, basically. That's my predictions.
Mm.
Hopefully the Swolesome Chads will be formed, though, when Silver frees Wardlow from indentured servitude.
So, yeah, if you'd like us to answer your question and sit and ramble about and jump on each other's ideas, please do send us an email to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. You can find us at WrestleOP on Facebook or WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Moving on, it is time now. We have answered our question. It's time for us to have a discussion. And Mr. Muir, I believe you have something that's a bit of a throwback for us.
Yeah, it's a revisit for you guys because you've already done it, but I think we can do it a bit better now, seeing as we've got a lot bigger of a roster of wrestlers and there's a lot more out there at the moment. So AEW really needs another hour, apparently, because they're getting too many stars. In all honesty, they're getting too big for the amount of time they have on TV. So, what would you do with if they had another show for 1 hour? What would you do with it, and how would you book it, and what would you do?
Well, I am ready and armed for this one.
Yep.
In my usual way, it's not something which obeys the traditional standpoints of wrestling. I would go for an entirely cinematic show where we believe the wrestlers are more
Real.
exaggerated characters in a consistent kayfabe setting.
Okay.
Ground.
Yep.
But my principle works on, of course, Big Shad buying the NWA. We've got the NWA women's title. We've got an NWA presented champion in this very 1950s to 1970s classic show. That's what NWA is. It's for big bearded people. And as much as NWA fans talk about how it's real wrestling with real grapples and people don't go too long and flippy shitters don't do stuff, it does have an edge of humor to it. Ricky Starks was champion there. Colt Cabana had matches there. The Question Mark is probably their biggest star. So I would take the NWA, I would keep it all, and I would make it a more cinematic experience, throw in a bit more of the comedy, not quite full Southpaw. I would play upon the 1970s wrestling scene in the Lucha Underground style way and have that as my secondary show, where you can throw in wrestlers who aren't necessarily at the top of their game because you can use some cutting and pasting to for any of their weaknesses. You can cut fully recorded promos and backstage scenes so they get some experience being able to go over their stuff without fluffing it in a
live environment.
You've still got that, you're going to have to throw in a bit more flippy shit. You're going to have to make the matches actual 20-minute things, not 7 minutes of only grapples. You're going to have to up the power bomb ratio and stuff, but keep it very much in that sepia fucking Southpaw style. Have some let the announcers go crazy. Wrestlers can go in with different characters and then appear on Dynamite and actually be a different person. It won't matter. So that would be my suggestion.
So the replaying of Miro is going to be back to Farmer Bartholomew, wasn't he, in Southpaw? Where he was
Yes, he
farmer.
was.
Yes.
It was great. And I would pay Cena all the money in the world to be that misogynistic parody that he was of...
I'd just drive a truckload of money to his door and get him to play it. It was so good.
I like to imagine a little malformed man. So, what have you got? What's your guys' suggestions before I start doing impressions from Southpaw?
Morg?
So, AEW Massive Explosion, which is what I believe we originally called it.
Oh yeah, I know we named it. This is where our cinematic universe began.
Yeah,
the alternative AEW. So, I want to throw back to the old SmackDown. So, as much as I love the idea of a cinematic show, and I would watch the shit out of it, so the choice for doing a cinematic show is just bring BTE onto the telly for me. and I like BTE where it is. I wouldn't have a problem with BTE always being half an hour every week because I enjoy it and it's the comedy show and it's the parody show. What I want to see, so you've got Dynamite is your big show, your big star show. On the new one, you want to get people watching it. And so the people I want to put on it are, I want to keep a lot of the people who have got big over the top characters on Dynamite, and over onto the new show, I want to keep it short. I want to keep it an hour. I want to make it almost like what Dark isn't. So no jobbers. You have young, new up and comers wrestling each other, and the top of the card is people like Kenny and Jericho. This is the wrestling show. So a little like and I think stealing the NWA idea off you. So anybody you get off that, and make this your pure wrestling show. Do your Japan pseudo indie stuff on Dynamite, because you're going to pull the fans on that who like that already. Don't mess with what's working on Dynamite. Make this one mainly matches, mainly promos. Make it the place where the new young guys can work with technical vets and sharpen up their technical game, and make it the wrestling show. So your promos are never cinematic. Your promos are very old school. I hate you, big shouty men promos, but they've all been sat in a room with Eddie Kingston shouting at a cookie for half an hour before they go out there.
Hey Blade, where's your wife?
Yeah,
it's your wife.
Get your house in order. So I would go for. See, I originally thought about doing a thing where you moved sort of like the tag team. You moved like the tag team or the women's division over to the second show. Something I wish that WWE had done instead of splitting it down the middle. But I don't think that matters, because I think you can cross stars over without a problem. And people like Kenny and Jericho need to be on Dynamite. They've got the star power, and you need to have them on there. They're paid big money, so working an extra night. Sorry, guys, I appreciate. But yeah, I would make it that very solid, pure wrestling show, and a little bit old school. And so that's what my pitch for another AEW show is, Mr. Muir.
Mine was playing off both of yours, really, but I was going to it involves buying the NWA, which you could probably pick up for like free.
We're all assuming that Shad will buy the NWA for Tony at some point.
I would start off being it's going to be some random Dynamite show, whatever you call it, whatever. Then suddenly, first bit, end of the first show, Nick Aldis invades with Thunder Rosa and those lot, and they take over the show. And by the end of it, it's an NWA show. And then it's NWA versus AEW on that show for, 9 months, and then build it up from there and see how it all falls out. And basically have it be their way to exposition, a bit more old school wrestling for people that prefer that side of things, the over 50s. And, build up from there.
We're all on basically the side of an hour of more gritty old school wrestling, basically.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. I like your idea of setting up an invasion angle. I think an NWA invasion is a very good idea at the minute. But you need to do it like the beginning of the WCW WWE invasion, when it was good. At the beginning,
well,
before the shit happened and it fell apart.
What you mean by the end of the first show?
Well, no, it was a little like, it was after WrestleMania that it started to fall apart. It was really good at the beginning when people started turning up. So yeah, I like the idea of Nick Aldis turning up, and
you need your biggest stars instantly. Nick Aldis just turns up, and just
and I want them to invade. I don't want them to just turn up so you've done it with Thunder Rosa. What she's a scout.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the question mark invade. That would be fucking great.
Just have all their top stars invade and make it an actual show that they take over for a good 6 months before AEW starts getting its claws back into it, Don't sell them as weak, sell them as super strong,
Yeah, you can have them invading Dynamite occasionally. You can have those setups, because those have worked well when Raw and SmackDown have done them well. They have worked badly when
it's anybody outside.
And you
'cause-
make, yeah. I mean, the maybe we should do a special and we should review the WWE Invasion angle because it's such a hotbed. It does mean you have to watch some shit. You get to
That would
watch
be watching so much show, though.
but you get to watch some really cool stuff as well.
I don't
they're-
know. The only good thing from the invasion angle is when Stone Cold joins with, what's his name, Kurt Angle, and the comedy angle from those two is the only good thing.
the
from the invasion.
the first pay-per-view they had, which I believe is still WWE's biggest paying pay-per-view, which I might have been called Invasion, was phenomenal.
Okay.
It was a ridiculously good pay-per-view. I can't think off the top of my head what the bad matches were, but I don't think there was many. They may not hold up to our more modern scrutiny if we watched them and reviewed them as we would, say, an episode of Lucha Underground, which is another thing we may have to discuss doing at some point.
I get you. I just don't have the time to watch all these
and it's
extra wrestling.
it's the not nostalgia of.
I think that's
RVD
about
versus
it.
Jeff Hardy was phenomenal.
What
So-
has happened to RVD? Sorry.
There you have it. That's our show for the week. That's what we do for a new AEW show. That's what we think would be some groups. It's been a great week for AEW wrestling. Go and watch Dynamite. Just skip the 5 minutes of the MJF and pretend it didn't happen. Go back and watch one of his promos from a previous week. Just insert that. Much as we said before. I'd like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us as Wrestleopinionated on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and on YouTube. Mr. Muir.
Once again, thank you for listening to our podcast. It's always a pleasure to do this. And if you're feeling like sending something in to us, please do. It does give us another thing to discuss. And that is at wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. WrestleOP on Facebook and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Thank you. Over to Strange.
Please do like, share, subscribe. Click that little bar which says it's really good. If you're listening on Spotify, share that to your friends. Make them listen to your playlist. Hide all of our episodes in a playlist you've named or something you like and share it with more of your friends. We do appreciate you listening. Every little like, share gets us a couple more people who listen. And, it makes it a little bit more worth doing this. Back to you, Morg.
So all that's left to be said, goodbye and good night.